top 10 in the country right now, and the team's ranked at the top 4. Pretty good bet that the selection committee meets that the top 4 in some order is going to look like this: LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson. I don't know what order. Probably LSU 1. But the real issue is who finishes there.
Yeah.
LC, who is most likely not to wind up there that's going to be in that initial top 4?
Ohio State. I'm worried about Ohio State because I'm worried about Michigan. That dadgum Michigan is sneaking around like and the loser of the LSU-Alabama game out.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a second. I think it could be Alabama, and the only reason I say Alabama is they've got a tough one coming up with LSU, and it's almost as if people are just saying that, well, they're in.
Yeah.
No. The work just is beginning, because now they have that rivalry game in Jordan-Hare, and that, to me, Des, is not just a slam dunk, no problem, easy win with that Auburn defense.
Hey, Coach, don't forget about Penn State, too. Ohio State has to play Penn State. That's
right.
not going to be an easy game, too. But I agree with Kirk. I think it's going to be Alabama. Huge game against LSU. But people are writing off Auburn. Auburn would love to play spoiler against Alabama.
Well, 2017, Auburn basically, they beat Alabama and they beat Georgia. Remember?
And they ended up playing for the national championship.
So it didn't even spoil the season for them, but I think it's Alabama too. But y'all mentioned a lot of great things, but Tua's not going to be 100%. There is no way, shape, or form he will be, and he has to play LSU, and he has to play Auburn. That's going to be a tough stretch.
Yeah. You know, I think you look at this, and you look at Auburn's schedule right now, and by the way, I mean, it's not playoff worthy. Auburn, Ole Miss, we're going to find out about Auburn because they're not getting in the playoff picture, but they could knock Georgia or Alabama out of it as you go forward. Auburn was the team in 2017 that came closest to making it as a 2-loss team. Who's got the best case when we start getting down to the 1-loss contestants? Oklahoma seemingly took a hit with a loss to Kansas State.
Well, I mean, you just talked about Ohio State's going to play Penn State. They're going to play Michigan. And you have LSU and Alabama. I think there's been so much talk about the loser of the LSU-Alabama game potentially having a debate, especially if it's LSU because of that Texas win in their non-conference. Why aren't people talking about Penn State? If Penn State, David, goes 11-1, and their only loss is in Columbus, and it's a competitive game, why wouldn't Penn State have a very valid and strong case sitting there at 11-1? Don't go to the Big Ten championship if Ohio State gets in undefeated. I think Penn State's going to have an argument.
I think they should. And again, I think that's where we're going to start seeing non-conference schedules come into play too. And Penn State isn't the strongest. But if you're looking at a defensive team and a team you can hang your hat on that's also improving, I mean, Clifford's getting better. This offense is creating explosive plays. I 100% agree Penn State will be in that mix.
I think the winner of the Oregon-Utah Pac-12 championship.
Hold on.
Wait,
Who's going to win that game?
I just want to say, just to be different,
Yeah.
the winner of the Oregon.
That's not a bad pick, though. I was going to say the same thing.
Oh,
they have
no,
a quality loss against an Auburn team that people respect. So watch out for the Oregon Ducks. If they run the table and win the Pac-12, they have a legitimate argument also.
But that's a premeditated thought with Utah. That doesn't count.
Hey, number 9.
Let me get
They can tell you who's going to win that game right now.
All State playoff predictor, really, that Oklahoma loss didn't really help the Pac-12 teams that much.
No, it really didn't. And, I would love to be able to reward Oregon for going 12-1 and winning the Pac-12 and getting it playing Auburn, but it's going to come down to that best deserving. Who do you think is better? Now, if you look at that, I had my friends at Caesars run hypothetical point spreads between Alabama and LSU, who would be the 1-loss potential non-SEC West team against Oregon and Utah. LSU is a 10-point favorite over Utah.
But don't you think LSU, because of the resume, has a better case? Alabama, you're just going to have to say
and the problem,
they're just better.
And the problem is Alabama and LSU will likely have a win over Auburn, which, I mean, you want to say, Oregon played them, they played them tough and probably should have won, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be hard for Oregon to win that debate. I think what we're headed toward is either what you guys have been discussing, Clemson, Big Ten winner, SEC winner, and then is it that second Big Ten team, second SEC? By the way, Penn State right now, if you look at the record metric, which the CFP committee kind of follows, that resume deserve, Penn State's number 2.
Good.
So we're assuming we know the top 4. Maybe Penn State pops in. Greg McElroy actually thinks that Penn State has a good chance of being in the top 4.
And by the way, this could get
State.
even more complicated if the SEC East comes in and beats the SEC West in the SEC Championship game, which, by the way, Florida wasn't far off from beating LSU in Baton Rouge. So that's not,
and
it's not out of the realm.
Let me throw it to you this way, too. Georgia beats Florida, loses to Auburn, but still wins the SEC.
Let's get weird.
Let's go. A lot of football.
That's what you know how many SEC haters are just praying that maybe the SEC gets left out? All of them.
Yeah.
Go Utah. Go Utah.
Hey, thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more scores, highlights, and analysis, you can download the ESPN app. You've got the ESPN app, right?
Honestly, on Saturdays for college football fans, if you don't have the ESPN app, that's the lifeline for every college football fan. So you have to have that. The live streaming now, ESPN Plus. To me, it's the only way to go.
ESPN Plus was key for me recently. Got to get ESPN Plus. Arkansas State, Troy, down to the wire.
Loving it.
Superdog winner. Thanks to ESPN Plus.